I just got on here. Hello, y'all. Happy Thursday if you are in my time zone. If not, happy whatever day it is. I am so excited to share what I'm going to share with you tonight because it has been heavy on my heart. Why do I hear myself?
No drip allergy sinus. Experience ridiculously powerful sinus congestion
Okay, I know what that is.
with cooling menthol.
But I want to give people just a few minutes to come into
no
the
mess,
room.
just clear, unblocked
And then I'm
breathing.
going to
Plus,
start.
try all new Afrin Saline Daily Care. It's a drug-free
And
way
if
to
you are
instantly
here,
clear out
please say
excessive
hi in
mucus,
the comments.
allergens, or irritants. Afrin. The wow is real. Use as directed.
Hello,
Pressure.
few minutes to
No
come
drips,
into
no
the
mess,
room.
just clear, unblocked
And then I'm
breathing.
going to
Plus,
start.
try all new Afrin Saline Daily Care. It's a drug-free
And
way
if
to
you are
instantly
here,
clear out
please say
excessive
hi in
mucus,
the comments.
allergens, or irritants. Afrin. The wow is real. Use as directed.
Hello,
Pressure.
hello.
No drips, no
Hi,
mess,
guys.
just clear, unblocked
And then I'm
breathing.
going to
Plus,
start.
try all new Afrin Saline Daily Care. It's a
Okay,
drug-free
so
way
y'all,
to
if you are
instantly
here,
clear out
welcome,
excessive
welcome.
mucus, allergens, or irritants.
Happy Thursday.
Afrin. The
I
wow
want
is
to
real.
start by
Use as
saying it
directed.
is not my
Pressure.
birthday.
No drips, no mess, just
It is
clear,
coming up. I am a
unblocked breathing.
Pisces.
Plus, try all new Afrin
And
Saline
this
Daily
is
Care.
why
Okay,
I
so
am
y'all,
sharing what I'm sharing tonight. So I just want to reiterate that because I have been getting ever since I posted this. Hi, Esther. Hey, friend. It's not my birthday, okay? I just, in reflection of my upcoming birthday, I wanted to share some information that I thought would help other people who could be in a similar situation as I am. So, if you don't know me, I'm LaQuisha, the artist behind Confident Canvas, and it took me a lot of years to even name my brand Confident Canvas. The reason I named it that is because I believe that I am. I did hear something, Esther, but I don't know what that is. Hold tight. Let me see if I can fix it.
It took me a lot of years to
Or
even name my
if it's
brand
on my end.
Canvas. The reason I named it that is because I believe that I am.
I did hear
something, Esther, but I don't know what that is. Hold tight.
I have no idea. Like I feel like I hear something too, but I have no idea what it is. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna log out and log right back in. Or can I do it?
Esther, but I don't know what that is. Hold tight.
I have no idea. Like I feel like I hear something too, but I have no idea what it is. Okay,
this is what
it's
I'm gonna do.
repeating me. Oh my goodness. How can I get rid of that? Let's see. Hold tight.
I feel like I hear something too, but I have no idea what it is.
Let's see.
Okay, this is what I'm
If I close everything on my... Okay, how about now? I just closed all the apps on my phone. I'm sorry. I must have had something open that was playing. Because now I don't hear it. Just somebody confirm that you don't hear all the feedback. I pray not. Oh, yay! Okay, so anyways, y'all. Back to what I was saying. Hey, Minnie! Hey, girl! Hey, Phyllis! Oh, my goodness. Hey, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I gotta tell Talia. Always gotta tell Talia. She knew. I am live. Sorry. I have my tablet in front of me for my notes. She gonna get over here and be like, so anyways, I named my brand Confident Canvas intentionally because I wanted y'all to know, I wanted people who encounter me to know that I am a canvas for God and I am confident in who He created me to be. Now, I will tell you that it took me a long time in my life to get to a place where I could say that with confidence. I will also tell you that I am human, and just like everyone else on the planet, I work on myself every single day through every prayer, through every hope, through every whisper, through every friend. I am constantly trying to improve and do better than I did the day before. So I won't tell you that I am perfect in being confident, but I will tell you that I have come a long way speaking of which, if you're on a journey, don't give up. I am turning 44 in a few days, and I started my journey. Well, actually, hey, Lucy! um, my trauma started in my childhood, actually, the day I was born. And the trauma that hurt me the most started when I was 14 years old, and I'm getting ready to turn 44. So I said that to say this has been a long journey. I feel like people tend to give up because they think they should be further along than they are, or and things like that. And so, hey, Talili, every video I do, I'm like, hold on, y'all, I gotta tell Talia. But it's been a journey. It's been one that I'm grateful that God has held my hand through. He didn't allow me to give up. There were times I wanted to. And so, in light of that, I've been reflecting on my upcoming birthday. I've been reflecting on how I have treated my birthday in past years. And I want to talk to you about that just in case you're encountering the same. But this is not all that. It also will end in me offering you an opportunity to be to be a part of a 7-day challenge, free to the public, specifically my patrons. You do not have to have a paid tier to participate in this. You can be a free member. And so probably by now, because I pre-scheduled the post that has the printable in it that I'm going to discuss tonight should be live on my Patreon. So all you have to do is go to patreon.com/Confident Canvas, and you will find my latest post open to the public with the details around this conversation we're getting ready to have, alongside the printable with the 7-day challenge that I'm going to talk to you about after I talk to you about the message behind why I created this for you. So, truthfully, every year on my birthday, it has been a habit of mine to give gifts to other people for my birthday. And so, if you've been a part of my community for any amount of time, around this time, I'm usually offering a free printable or sending some gift to someone or something like that. As a matter of fact, I have a challenge that I offered my patrons on earlier in February on the National Day of Kindness, where if they used the quotes and the kindness printable that I created and uploaded and shared their work in our group chat on Patreon, then they would be eligible for one of my gift cards that I'll be sending out after selecting random winners tomorrow. I think I'm picking 2 or 4. I can't remember. I gotta go back to my own post. But it is a habit of mine to give. I love giving. I think it is the best way to live. It's also a biblical practice, and I believe in it. I have reaped what I have sown. And I have sown in so many places, in the art world, in education, in the advocacy world, in the women's empowerment world. Like, I'm always giving, I'm always sowing. And I can say without a doubt that I have seen God give back to me everything I've poured out or dropped into soil. And so, but I wanted to talk to you about that type of giving that I have done in the past and what that was originally rooted in. And I think that this is a common feeling of people who have encountered a lot of trauma. And so, as many of you may know already, I am a survivor of sexual abuse in my childhood, as well as domestic violence by way of my parents. But even more so than that, the traumas that I experienced led me down a lot of different holes. And so, as a result, I found through a lot of years of research the reason why I avoided my birthday for a long time. And this is the first time I'm ever talking about this publicly, because in the past, I just felt like it was never really a thing. I felt like no one really cares if you celebrate your birthday or not. But I think it's important to talk about the why behind why I didn't. And I want you to reflect on, as you're listening to this, is this me too? Am I doing something similar around the time of my own birthday? But first, I want to start by telling you a story. Listen, child, listen. I am from North Carolina. I went to a high school and middle school that had affluent kids, middle class family fit kids, and kids from low income households. We were all together in the school. A lot of us were grouped that way. But essentially, we had exposure to all different kinds of people as I grew up in education. I had a phenomenal education. I won't tell you, I feel like I learned everything I should have learned in school, but I can tell you that my learning, my educational experience was rigorous. So rigorous that I was in advanced level classes, especially in literacy. How ironic, because I became an English teacher. I didn't even want to do that, but here we are. So, anyways, in the middle and high school that I went to, it was a common practice for when it was someone's birthday. They would, at some point in the day, be called to the office, and we all knew why. If we knew it was their birthday, they were probably going to receive a bouquet of balloons and some candy or a stuffed animal, something. It was always a delivery for students when I was growing up on their birthday. And it was a big deal. Like, they would be walking through the halls with their big bag with balloons hanging off of it. And we all just like looking in awe. It caused people to yell out, "Happy birthday" to the person. You know, it's just a time where you garnered the attention. And I think the gift that you were able to pick up also showed that someone cared about you, loved you, appreciated you, whatever. And so, as a middle schooler and a high schooler, I wanted that too, right? And I remember in middle school, every year on my birthday, I would be like, oh, maybe this is the year I'm going to get called to the office and I'm going to get balloons and a bear and all this stuff. Like, in my head, I had hope that it was coming, right? Well, it didn't for a lot of years. I mean, you're only in middle school for 3 years. So 2 out of the 3, it didn't happen. Well, all 3 really. But my last year in middle school, I was waiting for the bus. We waited for the bus inside our cafeteria. We had a very large cafeteria. And I remember I was on one side of the cafeteria, and on the opposite side, there was a door that was accessible to the public. That door opened, and I saw a man with a hat walk in with a bag and like 3 or 4 balloons hanging off this bag. That was my birthday, and I was sitting at that table like, that's gotta be for me, because like I'm the only one in here that's celebrating. But I don't think a lot of people knew it was my birthday. I just, maybe outside of my friends, but I just felt in my heart that has to be for me. As the man got closer to my table, I jumped up and ran up to him. You know why? Because it was my dad. It was my dad. But let me tell you why this was significant. At that time, my parents were getting a divorce. I didn't live with him. I didn't get to see him every day, but I absolutely adored my father. And so I jumped up, ran to hug him. My dad always smelled good. He was a DJ in our city that was well known. He was kind of like a little bit low key famous. So when he would come to the school, the kids would be like, "Ooh, Jay Holiday is here." That was his radio name. And so I was always proud, like, yeah, that's my dad, you know. And when he came with the balloons, I was excited because he was there. I got to see him because, again, I didn't get to see him often in light of the divorce that was happening between him and my mom. But also, he brought me the balloons that I had wanted so much, right? And so I get them from him. It was a pink bag with trolls on it, y'all. And I don't know if you know anything about the 90s, but the trolls were it. Everybody wanted the trolls. Now, admittedly, I didn't really like them personally. Okay, I had to block a call, y'all. Sorry. So, anyways, I told my friends, if you like it, I love it, and we're gonna roll with it because it was popular at the time. Everybody had troll keychains hanging off their book bag. They were wearing troll shirts. It was just a troll world, and I was trying to adapt. Anyways, inside my little gift bag was a Game Boy with 3 brand new games: Dr. Mario, Super Mario, and I cannot remember the third one. It's like a little fun. Oh, Tetris. Can't remember. I can't believe I couldn't remember that. Tetris, Dr. Mario, and Super Mario. My 3 Game Boy games. You couldn't tell me nothing. I mean, that was the it thing at that time. And so I was very proud of that. But again, the trauma in my family unhealed. I go home with these balloons in this bag from someone that I love, but I'll step into a space where a lot of people did not appreciate him coming to the school, coming to see me, and bringing a gift that, whether it made me happy or not, they didn't give him permission. So that turned into a whole thing. It turned into a source of tension once I got home. And also my gift was taken, and so I was absolutely devastated. It wasn't even about the material item. At that point, I just felt seen, I felt appreciated, and someone took away my appreciation. And so I was just like, what is happening? I finally get this and it's being taken away. And so yes, Talia, I totally agree about the trolls. And so what happened was someone talked my mom off the ledge around taking my gift. She did give it back to me, but reluctantly, but it just, that caused like a little bit of a damper on a day that was very special, a day that I felt seen, so on and so forth. Okay, moving right along, I go to high school, still hoping I get called down to the office for my balloons and bear and all these other things I see the other kids walking around with on their day. And again, I went a couple of years, nothing. The year I turned 16, I was like, oh, I'm getting something today, because this is the year that everybody says is a big deal. When you turn 16, there's people are having balls and big parties that they're inviting you to. And at that time, the skating rink was big. I'm from North Carolina, y'all. We have a lot of places you can go to have fun. So the skating rink parties were a big deal, all that stuff. And I was just in my head like, oh, somebody gotta do something for me today, because this is 16. You know what I mean? The whole day goes by in school. I did not get called to the office. I'm mad, but I was like, I kept keeping, like, every time I was disappointed, I would try to add something to the story in my head to maintain my hope. So I would say things like, oh, they just didn't bring it to the school because they probably got a surprise party for me at home. So that's where I went with that thought. And so I get on the bus to go home, pull up. The bus pulls up to my house. My grandmother's car is in the driveway. Her car would only be there when she was taking us to her home because my mother had to work. And so I was like, so I'm going to grandma's house. Okay, maybe my grandmother has the party at her house. Maybe everybody's there. So get in the car, go to my grandmother's house. I can't wait to get in. Go inside. I'm looking. It's quiet, regular. Okay. All right. Maybe it's in the back room. So I go looking around the house. I come out, I sit on her couch, expecting to be there until 9 p.m., which is usually around, maybe around 9:30ish p.m. It would be around the time my mother would pick us up from her home. And I was like, all right, it's cool, Quisha. Next year, it's coming next year. They waiting for 18. Like, I kept telling myself a story to keep myself encouraged. But in that moment, when I was sitting there on the couch, getting ready to do my homework, my grandmother says to me, oh, your mother called me and told me she left something for you. And I said, oh, I knew it. It's coming. So I was like, okay, where is it? So she was like, it's right there on the TV. So I'm looking around because I'm like, what? Like, I'm looking at the TV. I don't see anything like I feel it's 16 years old worthy. So she said it's the box on the top. So I'm looking for the box. I find the box. Oh, y'all, let me tell you, my mother and I are in a much better space now. But in my teenage years, I was so frustrated. Like, I guess that's all she could do at the time. I'm not mad at her for it now. But at that time, I was big mad. I had not just a box of Girl Scout cookies, but they were the worst Girl Scout cookies you could ever imagine. They were, I don't even know if they sell these anymore. They were almost like granola bars, and they were low fat. And so there was reduced sugar inside of them. They were in a mint colored box. I'll never forget, because I'm thinking it's got to be like a necklace in here or something. Like, this is what I kept telling myself, because I gotta keep telling myself a story. And no, it was low-fat Girl Scout cookies. So I I was like, I turned 16. And y'all, I am no bigger now than I was when I was 16 years old, really, hardly. And I'm like, I don't need low fat nothing. And I tried. I was like, maybe they taste good, Quisha. Take a bite. If they're good, celebrate with these cookies, right? I bit one and I just couldn't even swallow it. It was just so dry and I just was so upset. I was expecting a party or something, somebody to acknowledge that I had reached this age and a lot of people applaud, and I felt unseen. So I had to preface what I'm going to talk to you about tonight with that part of my story so that you can understand why I avoided my birthday for years. Um, Years after that, when my birthday would come up as an adult, I wouldn't even announce it. I wouldn't share it with anyone. When I was in college as an undergrad, my best friend in college at the time knew when my birthday was. She would leave little stuff for me, a card, candy, notes, whatever. But as I went about the campus and stuff, it was just like a regular day for me. I didn't tell anybody. I went to bed at night, no big deal. And I kind of carried that through my adult life. I found that as I became older and I started to heal from my past trauma, that I turned my birthday into an opportunity to celebrate other people. Now, while some people have praised me for that over the years and said, that's so nice that you're doing that, it really wasn't, if you think about where my heart was, because essentially I wanted the attention off of me. I felt like no one really cared to see me on this day, so I'm going to make sure the honor and the appreciation goes to others, right? So what I would do is, like, on my birthday, I would buy a bouquet of roses. I might have gotten like a set of 12, a dozen, and I would give like random ladies I passed at work, on the college campus, things like that. I would give them a rose. They'd be like, oh, that's so nice. Why'd you do that? I said, I just want to show appreciation to other people today. So that was what I was saying. And they would think that I was so, and I am, y'all. I'm not saying that I'm not nice. But I know where they came from. It wasn't a place of me just being nice. It was, y'all aren't going to recognize me, so I'll just recognize you. That's kind of the thinking behind what I did. But as I became older, I started to research and learn more about trauma. That was important to me because I was becoming an advocate as I was healing. And I thought that I needed to know things. I needed to ground what I was telling people in research, not just tell them about my experiences, but also tell them based on theory, based on research, based on evidence. Here is why these things happen in domestic violence and sexual abuse situations. And so as I continued to learn, educate myself through workshops, I was reading all these books. I learned so much about myself. And at some point, I learned that the real reason why I wasn't acknowledging my birthday was because of my trauma. And so tonight, I want to share with you some of those key reasons why we may not acknowledge our birthdays. And for those of you who do, I am clapping for you right now. But I also want to caution you that if you are one of those people that, I don't want to say over celebrate, but maybe you put so much emphasis on your birthday that if what you are expecting is not returned to you, you get extremely frustrated. This also applies to you. But more often than not, trauma survivors will avoid their birthday altogether, or they'll minimize it. Just reflect on how you celebrate your birthday. Do you minimize your birthday? Do you just openly say, it's my birthday, thank you, I'm here to celebrate? Or are you over anticipating something happening to the point of disappointment? Just curious what level you think you're on right now in this part of your life. And maybe you might even reflect on, maybe you've gotten better, but maybe that's how you used to be, just like me, avoiding it. And so you don't have to like type it in the chat or anything. You don't have to tell on yourself. But I do want you to think about that as I share what I'm getting ready to share. So healing is a lifelong journey. That is something I am always going to share. There is not a person alive who can say they went to a class or they got some type of counseling or something and they came out all right. Everything's over. I can move forward in life. You have to constantly work on healing. It's an everyday thing. And so I'm saying that to say that for some people, reclaiming the joy of their birthday will take some time, and that is 100% okay. Encouragement, therapy, and self reflection can help transform your mindset into a space of gratitude and self love if it wasn't a place of detriment, disappointment, and pain. And okay, so now I'm going to consult my notes here. Um, First, also another thing I want to say, if this is you, you are not alone in this journey. Okay. I am admitting to you that I did this too. So if you're listening to what I'm saying and now you're feeling something, I don't want you to feel you're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with you. This is just the direct correlation or result of pain that was inflicted upon you. And now fortunately, you have the opportunity to dig yourself out of a dark space. And so I just want to help you start that process. That's essentially what we're going to do tonight. But first, I want to tell you some of the reasons why you might be avoiding or disappointed when you over celebrate and don't get what you want in return. And so, first, I'm gonna tell you four, and then I'm gonna tell you the three that applied to that I believe applied to me. So, first, you could have feelings of unworthiness, trauma, particularly abuse or neglect. That type of trauma, they can impact your self-esteem, your self-worth. They can make you feel bad. Trauma can make you feel bad about yourself. And so, if you have been made to feel insignificant at any part of your life, then you may feel that you're not deserving of celebration. And so, feelings of unworthiness could be the reason why you avoid. Also, survivor's guilt. If you have guilt around surviving a trauma, but and feeling like, well, why am I thriving and there's other people still in this mess, or there's other people that I love that are hurting from this? You might be feeling some guilt around surviving, but that's not guilt that you should carry. And but because of that guilt, you might minimize your birthday because you're feeling like I shouldn't be too happy because we're all experiencing hardship and pain, and it's almost like you're keeping yourself in a space of pain and hurt with others. And then the third one is emotional overwhelm. So sometimes birthdays, holidays in general can bring heightened emotions for trauma survivors. And this is not limited to birthdays actually. This could be Christmas or any holiday where there was pain or an experience of disappointment. This can trigger your emotions in a way where you're upset. And so as a result, you could avoid your birthday because you don't want to experience those negative emotions. And then the fourth one is discomfort with attention. A lot of trauma survivors do not like attention on themselves. They withdraw, become sullen. If you even in spaces where you might even just ask them to introduce themselves, if they're in like a Bible study group or something like that, you're like, oh gosh, everybody's looking at me. No, you know. And so as a result, when it's your birthday, you might not share it because you don't want people focused on you. And so discomfort with attention is the fourth reason for avoidance. Now, here are three that I think apply to me. Association with painful memories. So if you remember, I shared with you how every year in middle and high school, I was anticipating a delivery in the main office. I didn't receive those deliveries. And so as a result, that felt painful in my childhood. Now, as an adult, now I know you don't have to send me anything. I will be just fine because I probably already bought it anyway. But as a child, I didn't have access to those things. I could not buy for myself what I would have desired for my birthday. And so I was relying on other people. And that came with disappointment when that didn't show up. And so association with painful memories is the fifth reason. The sixth reason is unmet childhood expectations. I shared with you how my dad showed up with my gift, but I went home and it was taken. And then later, how I got Girl Scout low fat cookie wafer things for my 16th birthday. That was disappointing to me. To some people, they may say, it sounds like you were ungrateful. Your parents did the best they could. But as a teenager and a young teen, what do you call preteen in middle school, you're not thinking about being grateful. You're not thinking about my parents did the best they could. You want to be celebrated on your birthday. That's it. As a young person, they just want to be acknowledged. And so, having an expectation that you have unmet can lead you into an adult life of not looking for anything. And then the third one, the seventh one, but the third one for me is fear of disappointment. So I also share with you how every time I expected something, if it didn't show up in my head, I would say, "Oh, they're gonna do it this way, so I just need to wait." And then if it didn't show up, then I would say, "Oh, they're just gonna do it later, tomorrow, in a newsletter. They're gonna have it in my room in the morning." I kept telling myself it's gonna come in a different way, and all those different ways, because I made up scenarios in my mind, didn't happen, and so I had a lot of disappointment, and I struggled with trust. I struggled with, and that trust struggle didn't just come from a lack of birthday gifts, y'all. That was all inclusive of all the things that I was experiencing. But I also just felt like I didn't know who to trust in light of the fact that we were experiencing those hard things in my household, and it didn't feel like I was seen. It just, like, how can I trust the people who are raising me if you don't even see me on the day that most people would celebrate me, right? And so I struggled in that area. But what I'm here to tell you today is that God delights in you, and not just on your birthday, but every single day of your life. He created you with intention and purpose. You have all of that. You have His goodness. You were made in His image. He was proud of the product of you when He created you. It can take us some time to truly understand that, because first we have to believe that. First, we got to believe God. Then we have to believe that statement that God delights in us. We read sometimes, and I'm keeping it real on this because this is my YouTube. Sometimes even Christians will read scriptures where it says that God delights in us. He sings and rejoices over us, and that we're made in His image. We will read those scriptures. We'll write them down sometimes, but we don't still truly believe it. And so that shows up in our actions. What are your actions saying about what you believe about God, right? And so if I'm minimizing my birthday, the day that God said, it's time, LaQuisha, for you to come into this world, I'm ready for you to show up. I'm ready for you to be here and represent me in the earth. Shine the light, pass the salt. Like, God had a plan for me. And on that day, I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not just my birthday. That's God's day. It took Him 7 days, as we read in our, if you are a believer. If you're not, just listen and eat the meat, spit out the bones, whatever. 6 days He created everything that we exist upon. He took a day of rest, but He continued to create, because you're here, I'm here, our friends and family are here. We are also a part of His creations. And so we have to relearn, first unlearn the things that we told ourselves as we were growing up and speaking to ourselves negatively, or not believing that people cared about us, or whatever the case may be. And some people might hear that and say, no, my parents really didn't care about me, or my family really didn't care about me, but there was someone who did. And that's where our focus should be. And that someone who cared about you is the reason why you have a birthday. So much joy comes to me when I think about that now, because my birthday isn't just about me. It's a celebration of God's work in the earth, right? And the fact that I'm still going to be here 44 years later. I can't even believe that I'm saying that, y'all. Like, I cannot believe I'm going to be 44. But anyways, it's not just about marking another year. It's about acknowledging God sustaining you in the earth, using you to make a mark in the plan and the map that He created for how the world would be. And not to make you feel not to make you feel bad, but if you minimize your birthday, then you are also minimizing the acknowledgement that God deserves from the creation He made through you. And so when you think about that, I tell people all the time, don't talk about my friend if they're saying something negative about themselves. That's my way of saying to them, you're my friend and I don't want you to talk about you. Another reason why I say that, oh, yay! Happy belated birthday. Oh my goodness, on the 25th. Girl, your birthday literally just passed. Happy birthday, Minnie. Um, I also tell people to not talk about themselves because you're speaking against what God believes in. You're speaking against His creation. I liken it to if Minnie or Talia showed me artwork that they're proud of, and I go, that don't look good. Talia and Minnie are gonna be upset because you talking about my work. What do you mean you don't like this? Like, I'm giving some real life examples because I don't think we think about it in the reverse and how this applies to God, right? And so if I say, oh, I don't like these wrinkles, I don't like my hair, I don't like this, I don't like that, God is like, what you mean? I did that. You better like it. I'll put some time into that. And so I think when we start to value what God saw as good, and He said that everything He created was good, then we'll start to see the value, not just in ourselves, but in a day of celebration of ourselves. I had to do so much work to get to this point of even articulating this, y'all. Like, I'm telling you, sharing this with you from a place of love, sharing it with you from a place of experience. I'm not telling you something that I have not had to trudge through myself. And so, but if you're trudging through right now, I want to support you. So here I go. Just admittedly, this started with me thinking, oh, my birthday's coming up. I need to figure out what I can do for other people. That old thinking. Now I still do it, y'all. I still do it because I love people. But I'm going to acknowledge that it's my birthday on my birthday as well. Just side note. But I still want to also support people in celebrating themselves. So what I did was I came up with an opportunity for you to join me for a week of 5-point journaling. I know a lot of people are still trying to figure out, should they join my Patreon and subscribe and do the journaling with me, or should they try to do it on their own, whatever. I wanted to create a way for you to at least just sit down for a week and celebrate yourself. We do a day for our birthday. I'm asking you to do a week. And I have provided a mini 5-point journaling kit that is focused on celebrating you. And so I will show you, this is the first page. It's called Celebrating You. It is the same colors as my March kit, which is courageous for my 5-point journaling subscribers. But I wanted to complement that kit with why I'm even focused on being courageous. So let me say that to you. My kit is based on the courage that I had to demonstrate and use to get to the space to tell you what I'm telling you today. And so without that courage, I wouldn't be in a space to be online live, not knowing who's watching, and telling you that I had struggled with acknowledging my own birthday. It took a long time to get to this space, and that took a lot of courage. But also, in light of that, I wanted to offer others a way to celebrate themselves. So this is 100% free. You can find it right now on my Patreon. I made sure that that post would go live while we were on this live. And so, Phyllis, so are you, Queen? And it's called Celebrating You, a March 7-day 5-point journaling kit. There is a little mini devotional here written by me to just encourage your heart in a similar way to what I just shared in this live. And you might even hear echoes of the same thing because I talk the same way a lot. And then you also get a week of affirmations, scriptures, and quotes. Oh, yay! Happy birthday. Are you a Pisces? Are you the beginning of March? And so you'll see an affirmation, and there's a corresponding scripture to go along with it. So like the first one says, I honor and celebrate my unique journey, knowing that I am worthy of love and joy. And that corresponds with Psalm 139:14, which is, I praise you because I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and I know that full well. They are affirmations connected to scripture. They are grounded in scripture. So you'll get a week of that. Also, oh, yay! That's why we so creative, Phyllis. You know they say Pisces is the most creative. I'm just saying. You'll also see this decor on the side. So these are my famous stripes. I made this in a kit just because I wanted to use them in my design, and my journaling subscribers really liked it, so it turned into a page of stripes. But I just wanted to offer some of the colors that coordinate with the images that I put in this mini kit for you all to use in your own journaling. And then you'll have a page of quotes, 7 days, that correspond to celebrating yourself, believing in yourself. And then there's also a prompt to support you with writing your gratitude for those 7 days and writing out your pondering for those 7 days. So for those of you who don't know, 5-point journaling is every day I write the same 5 things. It's an affirmation, scripture, quote, gratitude, and pondering. I write that every day. And I will show you my evidence. Here is my current journal. Here it is, all filled up. I think I haven't missed a day, and I am currently on, here's today. Here is today on this side. All I got to do is write my pondering down here, and I'll be done. I already wrote the other parts that I shared with you. The pondering is you writing about something positive that you want to reflect on from the day. And so I try to wait until my day kind of comes to a conclusion before I do that part. And then I did go ahead and start the 28th only because it's the last day of February, and I'm ready to start using my daffodils for March. So, and also all the pages before this, let me see. These are all my journaling pages from January and February. And so I also, again, am not sharing something with you that I don't do myself. I literally sit down and do this every morning. I have this a coaster here from Simply Gilded. This stays on my desk for my morning coffee when I sit down with my journal. So, said all that to say, I want you to join me for 7 days. And also, there's no requirement of those 7 days. My only hope is that you do this in March. I want you to do it in the month that I'm celebrating myself. And Talia. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see you, girl. I hope that you pick 7 days in March to join me for this journey. She said my journal was thick, y'all, and I cannot deal with her right now. But once you do the 7 days, I'm also a big fan of Japanese culture. When you go to Japan, there's a culture of stamping in different locations to show that you've been there or visited. And so, of course, I can't give you a stamp digitally. And so I created something that looks like a stamp for you to commemorate that you completed the week. And so you can see here that it has the year, the month, and it says 7 days of journaling for March. And you can cut that out if you put it on clear sticker paper, and stick it in your journal at the end of your 7 days to further celebrate yourself. And you can get all 3 of these kit pages right now on my Patreon, patreon.com/confident canvas. And it is the very last post that appeared on my feed. So you'll see it easily if you go there now. Now, for those of you who are journaling subscribers, you're still getting a 10-page kit around the theme courageous. So you don't have to do both, but feel free to download it and read through it. It is important information to have to understand and know how special you are. And yeah, I'm turning 44 on Sunday, so I ain't gonna be here on Sunday, y'all. I'm gonna be at one of my favorite restaurants with some of my favorite people, just some of them, because I got a lot of favorite people. But of course, my husband and my teacher mentor from over 20 years ago, I think it's gonna be us having dinner at one of my favorite spots in Baltimore. And so that's my plan. I'm going to acknowledge the day this year. I'm not going to pretend it's not coming. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't exist on the day of. I'm not going to mope around, which I have been prone to do in the past. And I wanted to be vulnerable and share that with you all. Y'all can hold me accountable. You can, if you have my number, text me and be like, what you doing? You better not be laying down in that bed. Hardly ever laying down, to be honest, because I always have so much to do. But I do tend to like kind of mope a little sometimes on my birthday because I'm just like waiting, like to see who is going to acknowledge. But you know what? Y'all ain't got to acknowledge me because God already said what I was. And I'm just going to read those affirmations and believe them. That's what I'm going to do. And I want y'all to do it with me. So, said all that to say I love y'all. And I hope that this was helpful. I hope that something I said triggered you to think of yourself differently for your next celebration. Maybe it's not a birthday, but maybe it could even be you being honored at an awards banquet or something like that. And then hopefully remembering what I said and not downplaying that you deserve that honor. And so I just wanted to share with you again how you can find this. Oh, I see I see some people here already. Okay, so you will turn up. I'm turning up. When you log into, also, you don't have to subscribe, y'all. I don't want you to be afraid to go to my Patreon. It might prompt you, but you don't have to subscribe. This is available to the public. You'll see this photo of me in this shirt that I got from my friend Mary. With me, it says the art of noticing. I chose this picture intentionally because I'm going to notice myself on my birthday. And then it says celebrating you 7-day 5-point journaling challenge. And then there will be a link to this replay if you need to listen to this again and figure out what parts you want to focus on around the things that could trigger you to go into not wanting to celebrate. And then also at the bottom, you'll see a little, it looks like a little paper clip beside celebrating you 7-day devotional. If you click on that, let me see if I can, it will pull it up and you can download it to your phone or your computer. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you enjoy the words of reflection that I put in the devotional, because I technically wrote 2 this month. I did one for my subscribers, and then I did the one for you all. But yours is shorter. Your kit was smaller, so it didn't take a whole lot out of me. And I had been reflecting on this for a while. I did a bit of research around the reasons for why trauma survivors avoid their birthday, and that's where I got those 7 points. And what I may do is update that post with that information that I shared so that you can review that in your own time. It is not in the devotional. I wanted to keep the devotional on the happy side. So didn't want you to read all the reasons why you didn't celebrate your birthday, but I will put it somewhere where you can see it, maybe even in the comments, so that you can review that if you need to, because some people sometimes just need to meditate on that kind of information to really understand, yeah, this is me. I do need to work on this. And so I'm hoping to hear some amazing stories from people around how they are going to heal their birthday and start to celebrate themselves again. So thanks for joining me, y'all. I love you so much. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to give y'all a moment. Oh, no problem, Phyllis. Sometimes I feel like I'm too transparent sometimes, but listen, I'm only going to live one life. I might as well tell y'all all the juice. Here. I don't want somebody telling y'all the wrong thing when I ain't here, so I'll say it myself. I love you too, Minnie. Minnie, did you celebrate your birthday? I'm curious, because I don't even remember you saying anything in the group. So I hope you had a very special day. Oh, maybe you did. Maybe you did. Now I'm thinking about it. I think you did say something about how you celebrated. Anyways, I'm going to wait a minute and see if y'all have anything. Is Esther still here? So Phyllis is the 15th. Minnie was the 25th. We all Pisces up in here? Oh, not Talia. She has a December birthday. But that's okay. We still love you, Talia, and you're super creative. You don't need a astrology sign to prove how creative you are. Okay, I don't think y'all have any questions. I don't see anything. Okay, here we go. In the early morning, I'll watch one of yours. Oh, that's right. I do remember seeing that. I saw that you said it was so nice to spend time with me, and you were referring to the tutorials from Patreon. I'm glad you got to see them. Minnie, we miss you, girl. You got to come to something. Come to Zoom is this Saturday. Come somewhere. I need to see you again. Just make sure you're all right, and hear from your grand sugars or something. You got to stay the whole 2 hours if you can't, but at least show your face so we know you all right, and so we can say happy birthday to you. All right, y'all. I love you. I'm going to save this so that people can rewatch it. So I'm not going to keep droning on and on because they're going to be like, who is she talking to? But, oh, you see, Talia says she missed you too, Minnie. You got to come. 6 to 8. Oh, Eastern Standard Time. I don't know what time it is in Vegas. But you know what time we go live in our little Zoom. But anyways, I love y'all. Come on over to Patreon. I'll put the link in the description for this video if you can't find it easily. Just come back here, click on it, come over there and join as a free subscriber. That's also where I'm sharing my content now. I'm trying to release social media. And when I say trying, I still am using Instagram for PR purposes. Like, I use that group of people to share PR content. But my regular sharing, I'm now doing on Patreon. I love it over there because I have a smaller community where everybody in it I know. The people who are engaged, I know. Like, I don't have to wonder who these people are that are following. They just watching me. All my people are there. I can talk to them. I know them by name. I love Patreon. The small community of chats and conversations, absolutely amazing. That's my jam. I don't need a million people just watching me create. I'm a people person. I want to hug you and love on you a little bit. So I can do that on Patreon. So anyways, join me over there. I'll see you soon. I love y'all. Good night. Got my finger all in the camera. Here we go. Bye, y'all.